Hi, I'm Mandy Walker, and you're watching My Divorce Pal, the divorce coaching program that helps you make the best decisions for you. This is the Is Divorce Right for Me track, and today we're talking about being afraid of divorce. If you know your marriage is over, but you can't bring yourself to take the next steps towards divorce because you're afraid of the future, you are not alone. Being afraid is understandable. Divorce means substantial changes to many areas of your life, all at the same time. You could be changing where you live, your parenting, your work, your lifestyle, as well as adapting to living singly. All that change makes it hard to see your future, and that makes it scary. Recognizing your fear is a key step towards making those changes. The next step is overcoming your fear, and I have 4 strategies that may help. But first I need to say that if you're afraid for your or your children's personal safety, then please get help from your local domestic violence or abuse organization. Don't ignore your fears, trust your instincts, and accept the help that's available. Staying safe is your top priority. Now for my strategies. One reason we experience fear is because we don't know what to expect. It's unfamiliar, and many of us tend to avoid the unknown. So the first strategy is to get more information. I want you to be as specific as possible about your fear. Ask yourself what it is about getting divorced that frightens you, and list each of your fears. Then for each fear, think about what information you could gather that could help you. So for example, if you're afraid that you won't have enough money to live on, gathering as much detail about your current financial situation will help. Learning about what you could expect that to look like after divorce gives you the information on which you can make other decisions, such as whether or not you can afford to stay in the marital home. This might involve a consult with a divorce attorney, and then you'll be able to understand what you might expect to pay or receive in child support and/or spousal support, and how your assets might be divided. Or let's say you're currently a stay-at-home parent, and you know divorce will mean going back to work, but you're afraid that you won't find a job. Researching the local job market will help you with this. You'll know who's hiring, what skills they're looking for, and current rates of pay. Then you'll be able to make a more realistic assessment of your situation. You could also talk to other people who are divorced and who you think may be in a situation similar to your own. Choose who you talk to carefully. Talking to friends who you and your spouse socialize with as a couple could change those social dynamics. There's also the risk of them saying something to your spouse, either deliberately or unintentionally, before you're ready. You want to be assured that your confidant will keep your conversation private. Now ask yourself, how realistic is your fear? Have you ever had to face a similar situation in the past? What happened? So with the job example, you might look back at the jobs you've held. Have you ever been unemployed for a long period? How hard was it for you to get a job? Was it difficult for you to keep the job? Now the second strategy is to visualize living your life as if you were divorced. One scenario I often hear is being afraid of managing the kids as a single parent. Then the person realizes their spouse is away on business much of the time and that they are, in effect, already managing the children single-handedly. If you're worried about living alone, start taking on some of the household chores you would need to do, but that you don't currently do. This will help you build your confidence. As you go about your daily routine, imagine how that might look if you were living singly. What would change if you were going back to work full-time? How would it look if your children weren't living with you full-time, or perhaps they would be living with you? This is like a dress rehearsal. If you can visualize yourself in a new routine, new home, new job, it makes it seem more familiar and less intimidating. Now there may be parts that you can't imagine, and that brings us to the third strategy, preparation. So let's go back to the money example. If your spouse is the one who handles all the household accounts and you're worried about taking this on, then look for an adult education class on money management and start applying what you learn there to your own personal money. If your job market research tells you that your job skills are outdated, start looking for ways to update them, such as volunteering somewhere or government retraining opportunities, or part-time work. The last technique is to imagine that your fear actually came true, and then to ask yourself, what would you do then? Is there something that you could do now so that you would be more prepared? The more you can do to prepare yourself for living singly, the more comfortable you're going to be ultimately making the decision. Taking this step by step will make it easier for you to make the transition. Now, your spouse may notice the changes you're making, and you will need to be prepared to discuss them and respond to any objections. I think it's important not to talk about divorce before you're ready. So how you respond will depend on what discussions you and your spouse have already had about divorce. Let's assume you're in a consideration phase and you're thinking about divorce, not sure which direction you're headed, and not ready to share your thoughts with your spouse. So if your spouse were to say, "Why do you want to take that class?" you might respond, "I was thinking of going back to work, and I'm worried that my job skills are not current, or I've heard there are some new positions opening up at work, and they sound great and sound interesting, offering more money, but I don't have the skills needed to apply." Or for money management education, your spouse might say, you don't need to know about that. And you can respond that you know that you don't need to, but it's something that you're interested in and that you want to learn more. Thinking how you would respond to your spouse's questions will make you more at ease, and there's less chance that they will catch you off guard and you being pushed into talking about divorce before you're ready. So that's 4 strategies for dealing with fear. 1, gather more information about your specific fear. 2, try visualizing your life as if you were living singly. 3, learn the new skills you'll need. And 4, think about what you would do if your fear became a reality. Thank you for watching My Divorce Pal. I'm Mandy Walker, and I'll see you next time.